Hello and welcome to another watercolour. Jeff Goodwin here. Here it is, very simple hill there in the background. You can see a mound there and a mountain. You can just see very faintly and diffused in the background. Some trees there, body of water and a little bit of foliage in the foreground there. So we'll start off. You can see our drawing here where we have you know, that mountain there in the background, the trees, and the foreground, some body of water there as well. So we'll start off by wetting the paper with this 1 1/4 inch camel hair brush. Very large brush, great for wetting paper. This is A3 size. A3 size watercolour paper. Fabriano paper. See, it's just a very rough sketch there. And we're going to start with some cobalt blue. So I'm going to use the same brush. And I'm just putting a very loose mixture. You can see the paper is now tilted on an angle, or the board is. And you can see the wash there coming down. Sorry, you can't see the whole thing from the top. This is cobalt blue. I don't care that it's going over that mountain that I've drawn in there. That's okay. I'll pick some of that up with some paper toweling soon. There we go. As I said, this is so I've just darkened that up there. I'll put a bit more cobalt blue over the top. And just very wet wash of cobalt blue. Just picking that up again with the paper towel. We need to go right up. There we go, where that mountain is there in the background. Just taking some of that wash off there. Now I could go a very faint green for that mountain in the background, perhaps, but I'm going to stick with blue, but this time I'll be using ultramarine blue for the mountain in the background. I just want it to be very light and you know, sort of diffusing into the sky a bit as well. So I'm just going to wet this. It's still damp, but I'm just going to put a bit of extra water on there. Just that mountain area there. I don't want the edges to be really hard edges, if possible. Sorry about the shaking there. Just mixing up some ultramarine blue. Here we go. So I'm going to put some darker ultramarine blue, as you can see, just in some spots there. Just creating a little bit of definition in the mountain, a little bit of light and shade, perhaps. And I think on the left-hand side of that mountain, I will make it even lighter yet again in a sec. I'll use some paper toweling for that. But you'll see that happen. I'm not sure if I put that on camera, but we'll see in a minute. So where the brush is now, I'll be going lighter there, yeah. Here it comes now. You should be able to see it come up now, lighter on the left-hand side. There we go. I used a paper towel to get that done. I just dabbed a paper towel onto it. So now I'm putting some olive green just in the foreground. It's still damp. I want this, that'll fade back, but I'm just going to soften some of the edges there. Or yeah, just here. I don't want that to be so sharp, so I just soften the edge just a bit. Put in a bit of, looks like a little bit of background foliage there. Some trees there in the background. Okay, and I'll actually put some more trees in there a bit later on too. All right, so I'm putting some cobalt blue down here where there is some water. Excuse the bird in the background. Just a light wash of cobalt blue down through here. I'm going to be putting some reflection of that green hill and some of the trees which we're yet to paint. The reflection of those things will be in the water as well. So with the trees, I'm going to start off with some white watercolour. I'm not using gouache, I'm just using white watercolour paint. So I'm not using a white gouache, it is just simply white watercolour. But I will be using some white gouache in some areas a bit later on those trees, just a bit. I'll swap to a bigger brush fairly soon. I'm using this white watercolour paint still. I find if I start some of these trees with a base of white, I can get the other colours to blend in nicely through that. and if I need to go darker, I can. So there we go with a little bit of burnt sienna. Same here. See how that's sort of mixing in there with that white watercolour paint, and I can go lighter or darker as I please with those trees. My bird going crazy in the background. Probably just hear him in the background there. Still got some more work to do on the trees. I think that's pretty good. I think we'll leave it like that, and we'll now put some more definition on all of these trees. think that'll just about do that. We'll just fix up, eventually we'll put some foliage on those trees. Put some clean water around the trees there and where the branches are. And then we'll apply some olive green. You see how that mountain is beautifully diffused in the background? I'm just putting a little bit of vegetation here in just at the base of this this little hill here in the foreground. Well, not totally in the foreground, but middle ground. Creating a bit of reflection, but we need the reflection of that actual hill there in the water, and you won't see me painting that in, but you'll see it on the final reveal. I'm sorry about that, but I left the camera off. But you'll see that green hill reflecting into the water a little bit as well, that big green hill there. You'll see that as we're finishing. Using a grass green, and I'll be going over this green with some other colours as well, but you will see bits of it poking through. I'm going to be using some dark leaf green there. Well, I am using dark leaf green, sorry. So the grass green, the dark leaf green there, And we'll put some yellow ochre and some raw sienna in there as well. A little bit of burnt umber, just to mix it up a bit. There may be some people who prefer the trees the way they are, without any foliage. But I'm going to put some foliage on the trees. Dark leaf green. Just putting in a little bank there on the right hand side. I'll be putting a lot of, here we go, some raw sienna and some burnt umber in there. There will be a little bit of yellow ochre in there. Probably get away with not even putting that in there if you wanted to. It's up to you. Just define the edge of that a bit better there. Some raw umber. Well, let's work on some of these, or some of the foliage. I'm just wetting around some clean water just around the top of the trees. You can actually do your leaves differently. I've been recently doing my leaves this way, where I apply water first and then This is some olive green going in here now, and I'm just letting the paint do its own thing and disperse through those areas of water that I've laid down there. Same on this side, I'm just laying some water, clear water down first. Just where I think the foliage should go, roughly. And just put some olive green on there, let it do its thing. Just tease it through those areas there where I've already got the water. Nice and strong mix of olive green. Don't put it on too lightly because it will fade back. Take that down a bit there. It's better. Yep, good. So you can still see that mountain in the background, nicely diffused. I didn't want that covered up too much at all. A little bit of reflection there. I think we need some trees on that hill in the background, as not the mountain but the green hill. I think we need some more trees, or definition of some trees there as well. Just putting some foliage reflections in there. Darken that water up a bit as well, but you'll see that in the final reveal. It's coming along okay. It's just a very simple scene there, as you can see. Reflection down the bottom of that little bank there. Dark leaf green, just strengthen, put a little bit more foliage there down the base. I think we'll continue just to put a few more trees on that grassy hill there in the background, or in the middle ground. Just so it looks like we've got a bit more vegetation there on the hill there. A little bit of light and shade. So I'm going to really wet this and just bring it through a bit, so we've got a little bit of different texture, different shade. Put a couple of trees in there. Don't really have to worry about too much about the detail on those trees. You can see the trees there in the background on that hill. Just gives the impression that's a tree. Little tree there in the background. I think we need a couple more trees on that hill there as well. Using dark leaf green. There we go. What do you think? Another couple of trees on that hill, in the middle of the hill maybe? Grass there, something there in the foreground. There we go. Just wetting that with water, and then we'll go over the top of it with maybe some yellow ochre. Like so. We don't want it to be, we just want it to be diffused, just to give the impression that there's something there, some grassy vegetation or something there in the foreground. Don't want to be too precise about that. that middle tree there, already I can see that perhaps I should have taken the tree further down to the bank there in the foreground, but that's okay. I'll know next time to do that. But we're all learning together, aren't we? So here comes the final reveal. Sorry about all the shaking there. Here comes the final reveal. The water's a tiny bit darker there. That's it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Very simple watercolour there. The diffused mountain in the background, the grassy hill there, the trees, body of water, and a bit of foliage there in the foreground. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with another watercolour as soon as I possibly can. And I hope you're getting as much out of this as I am. Have a great day. Bye for now.